Education is one of the important aspects of human life. It shapes the way we think, the way we communicate, and the way we interact with the world. Dear viewers, welcome to the platform of AUST on Queen Amina TV. I am Amina Ilyasu, and together with me today is the President of the African University of Science and Technology, Professor Azikiwe Peter Onwualu, FAS. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you.
So today we'll be discussing on the theme Discovering AUST, where we'll look into the vision and mission of this great learning hub. Now, if you know about this university, you need to listen deeply. And if you don't know, you need to listen attentively in order to discover what is embedded in this great learning institution. Listen and stay with us as we discuss. We have oceans of viewers out there who are watching us right now. And I know majority of them would like to know who is Professor Azikiwe Peter Onwualu and what does he do?
Okay, thank you, Amina. Yeah, my name is Professor Azikiwe Peter Onwualu. I currently serve as the President of African University of Science and Technology here in Abuja.
Okay. Okay, sir. From our viewers, I know very well that majority of them do not know about this university. They will be wondering where this university is, what happens within this university. In your own words, sir, how can you explain to them in simple terms for them to understand what is about the African University of Science and Technology?
Yes, the African University of Science and Technology is a continental initiative. What I mean by that is a university built to serve the entire sub-Saharan Africa. As opposed to a typical Nigerian university, this university is built to serve both Nigerians but also people from all parts of Africa. And this is why it was established by the Nelson Mandela Institution, which is an international body based in Washington, United States, that gave birth to this university to provide the kind of facilities and the environment you will find in developed economies, to provide that here in Africa. Not just in Africa, but here in Abuja. We are open to all students from all parts of Africa. So what is distinct or unique about the university is that the university is a melting pot for people from different African countries. We've tried here to create an environment, a community of scholars from all over. Of course, that then means that the university has to take care of a multicultural environment to be sure that people from different cultures, from different parts of Africa, can have an environment where they can coexist and work together. The students get the best in terms of having access to world-class scholars from different parts of Africa here in Abuja.
Wow. Okay, that's a good insight. So our viewers who are watching us right there and do not know about the African University of Science and Technology, I hope you have heard the prof from the horse's mouth. That is African University of Science and Technology. Sir, leadership in a knowledge institution is different from leadership in a corporate or political institution. What philosophy guides your stewardship of AUST?
Well, being a knowledge based institution, you agree with me that scholarship, that is the ability to do research, to generate knowledge, to disseminate knowledge, and do everything we do in universities. That can only thrive when you have a system where freedom of scholarships, freedom of studies, freedom. In fact, when you look at our logo, you will see that the motto of the university is knowledge is freedom.
Yes.
Knowledge is what frees man from the shackles of everything, shackles of poverty, poverty of the mind, poverty of the spirit, and so on. And of course, when we talk about poverty, our mind usually goes to poverty of materials, but we address more of poverty of the mind or spirit in the first place, because it is when you acquire knowledge, when you have an environment that enables you to acquire knowledge, it frees you. First of all, your mind becomes broadened, and then you will now have the ability and capacity to solve problems. And so the philosophy behind us, what we do, is for people to be able to learn. They have to be free. They have to be enabled to do what they want to do, to study what they want to study. But how do you do that? You create an ecosystem where people have free access to knowledge. Free access means that when you are within this community, you have access to all the resources that are already provided within the university, and then all the resources available to our partners. We thank God for technology. With technology, we have over 50 partners from all over the world, especially the developed economies, partner universities, partner industries, and so on. And with technology, whatever is available to all these partner institutions in terms of knowledge is also available to us. For example, if you come to the university, you may not see a gigantic building called library. The library may be small, but the e-resources or the electronic library we have is really huge, because in addition to the ones we are able to subscribe, we have access to the database of almost all major international organizations, especially within Africa and in fact beyond Africa. Now, what that means is that what is available to a number of institutions abroad is also available to us.
Wow.
Now, so we try to create that community of scholars where knowledge is the thing driving everything. Today, almost everything you can think of, every knowledge you can think of, is available on the internet. But of course, you have to know how to access those information in such a way that they are useful to you. So we teach and do research in using all this knowledge that are available all over the world, and then try to now use them to solve these problems we've already identified in Africa. And in doing that, all students that pass through this university, first of all, we create this environment for them. They learn from the wealth of knowledge that is already available, and then we now push them to solve these problems using this knowledge that they have gained. And we have no restrictions as to what you can learn. That's why we say knowledge is freedom. Wow. The idea is that when you are sufficiently equipped with knowledge, you can solve problems by yourself. And so because of that, the university curriculum is based on the philosophy of project-based learning, as opposed to some kind of curriculum that is designed in such a way that you just heap knowledge on people. But in project-based learning, you first of all introduce problems. For any program or any course that anybody studies in this university, the teacher will first of all introduce problems or challenges, and then get the students to work together individually and then collectively, through individual projects, through collective projects or team projects, and then they come up with solutions. You will agree with me that there is hardly any problem you propose today that you cannot find the solution or suggestions for solution using technology. Today, the artificial intelligence has come to stay. If you understand how to ask AI or artificial intelligence any question,
Yes,
you will get a solution, you will get a response. So the teacher is now only there to guide and, of course, to also add to whatever technology has provided, because at the end of the day, the human intelligence is still there. You cannot do without it. So that way, the kind of knowledge that is available to students is not just only what is in the head of the teacher, but also in the internet, you can find what is in the head of millions of professors, all available. So all you need to understand is how to ask AI to give you a solution to a problem. And then, so the students are exposed to all these technologies, and that way, you'll find that the time available to a student is now optimized and maximized. So if a student is supposed to do a work or learn something within 1 hour or 2 hours, you'll find that with technology, that student can learn that in 10 minutes.
Yes.
So that now leaves the student with more time to do more practical things and get things done. Every field today is driven by technology in practice. There is hardly any field of endeavor, any field of human endeavor that is not now driven by software. This is why we inject technology into our teaching in such a way that students, what a student will normally spend 1 hour doing, he can actually achieve that task in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So he has more time to do many things and solve more problems.
Wow, I believe our viewers are listening attentively and also deeply, as I earlier said. The Prof has been talking and he has highlighted so many important things. This speech is highly motivating because this is what we actually need in Africa right now. Sir, you have highlighted a lot of problems that Africa is facing. You talk about internet, you talk about security, and many more. And I'm happy that from your explanation, you said that the AUST is knowledge-based, the system, and it is knowledge-based and more of practical. So, with all these mechanisms put in place, where do you see Africa in 10 to 20 years with institutions like the AUST?
Yes. The good thing about Africa is that Africa has the resources. All the electronic gadgets we are using today, most of the components are made from basic materials that are found in Africa. The gap then is, how do we get Africa to be able to reverse this trend so that we can add value to what we have within Africa? Because that is what will create wealth. In Africa, we have, our population is younger. We have more young people, and the population, the birth rate is actually increasing.
Yes.
Now, what that means is that if we are able to energize our young population with knowledge, and then with a very good environment or a better environment, you find that our youthful population can actually develop all these things, and then so the trend can now be reversed. And you can see it happening in the ICT sector. Nigeria is reputed to have one of the most dynamic ICT sector in the world. What our young people are doing in terms of using mobile phones, coding, developing apps to drive all kinds of things, you can name them. In the financial sector, for example, you've seen very good examples of young people coming up with solutions. I'm sure people may not note, but you see, we're all enjoying OPay, we're enjoying Flutterwave, we're enjoying, what's the other one, Money Point. These are new digital banks that are even giving more service to people, more than what the normal commercial banks are doing. And they are all digital banks. In order, what I mean by digital banks is that you can hardly find their branches like you will find the branches of the big banks. Yet, when you look at the volume of transactions, they are actually doing more. And this is because they are providing service that is really better than that of the normal banking systems. This is just an example with fintech, what fintech can do. You can also give examples in agriculture. With agri-tech, you see young people now doing all kinds of digitally driven agriculture. You will see it in healthcare. Today, we talk about artificial intelligence in healthcare. Now, for all these things to happen, you see that we need a young, youthful population that are knowledgeable. And we are seeing the examples of what is happening in our innovation hubs. There are innovation hubs springing up almost all over most of the major Nigerian cities, even though some of them are also associated with bad behavior. I see an Africa that will change in the next couple of decades with all these kinds of knowledge. So you see our young people making waves. And all we need to do is to reset our environment. Because you see young Nigerians, when they leave this country and go elsewhere, like Europe, America, or Far East, you see them excelling in tech, even with the training they got from Nigeria.
This is true because in Nigeria today, we have very large number of youth, and what you hear almost all the time is Japa, Japa, Japa. Why Japa? The president has said it that they need enabling environment because these youths are actually very intelligent in whatever they do. But anyway, this discussion will continue. Do not go away. Stay with us and we'll be back. So, sir, based on this discussion so far, I can see that the AUST is doing a lot. There's much more going in here in terms of learning that I don't think people out there even know this. And from your explanation, I can see that we don't really have constraints here. The only issue is at the verge of commercializing the products, the research made so far. So would you call or would you describe this moment as a critical one for Africans to invest in institutions like the AUST?
Yes, I believe so. For too long in this continent,
Yes.
we had depended on help from the global north.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we've always depended on countries in Europe, countries in Asia, countries in North America. Somebody is sick, and when I say somebody, I mean the wealthy Nigerians. Somebody is sick, and what he does is to go to India or go to UK, and get his health problem solved. Even the few good hospitals we have in Nigeria, if you go there, you find that they are able to be defined as good hospital because they have equipment.
Yes.
And they have good doctors. Now, if you go through behind the scenes and look at those equipment, they are all manufactured outside this country and brought into the country. So you find that we have depended for too long on technology coming from outside. I think we've made progress as a nation or as a continent in terms of the human capital, the people we have trained. But for what is happening with the Japa syndrome,
Yes.
if you look at the health sector, for example, we cannot say that we don't have enough doctors. And I believe that with what is going on in Nigeria today, we are going to be having more and more. Almost every state in Nigeria now has or planning to have a University of Medical Sciences. So that tells me that in future there will be more doctors, there will be more nurses, there will be more pharmacists. Same thing with other sectors. I just use health as an example. But in oil and gas, in transportation, in all the sectors, we have people. What I feel is missing is production of equipment, production of facilities. Because for you to be an excellent medical doctor, you must use machines. You must use scanning machines. You have to send people to the lab. Even in surgeries, today, you can hardly see a medical doctor that does surgery on his own. There are some surgeries that are so intricate that now they rely on robots. For example, brain surgery and things like that, heart surgeries, or non-invasive surgery and so on. If you go to every sector, you find that these technologies are required. You can't do away with them. In transportation, today we are talking about electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, we are talking about drones, we are talking about even rails. Railway system has moved from what it used to be to today, where you have bullet trains or electric trains. So you find that technology is there for us. The only problem is that in Nigeria and other African countries, we've not been able to indigenize these technologies or even develop our own. And this is where we come in as a University of Science and Technology. And there are other universities similar to our own in different parts of Africa. So this is the time, coming back to your question, this is the critical time we require. The countries where we import all these facilities and all this equipment from, they went through this stage. At some point in their history, they were like us. But now we have the advantage of knowing what should happen. So we should fast track. What that means is that investors, people who have the resources, whether they are government or corporate organizations or individuals, should look inwards and invest in the research and development ecosystem of the country. What that means is that when you look at the different research environments we have, whether it is a university, polytechnic, research institutes, or even some industries that have R&D sections, you'll be able to find good research products which can be funded. Elsewhere, you may have companies that are called venture capital companies. That is people who have money and they are looking for new ideas and new products they will invest in. We have a few in Nigeria, but we need to have more. That's what, to answer your question, this is a critical time when African investors, people who have the funds, should invest in Africa. And I'm happy. I think yesterday, I must commend our president. He was in, I saw a news item that our president, that's the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I saw him in a media chat in Rwanda, in Kigali. And I saw him talking about what I'm just talking about. For investors to, whether they are foreign investors or African investors. In fact, I heard him say he will not allow anybody take anything out of Nigeria, any commodity out of Nigeria without value addition. Value addition, of course, means transforming it into something else. And there are many examples. If I use the one that makes me weep sometimes is the story of cocoa. Okay? For some countries, it is the cocoa raw material that is driving their economy. Countries that produce chocolates, they produce beverages, and here there is no cocoa in their environment. So they import cocoa from Africa, add value to it, and then send it all over the world, including Africa, in form of chocolate, in form of beverages. If you look at it, most of the big companies we have, such as Nestle and so on, they are all processing these commodities into the beverages. With companies like Cadbury, I'm sure we are all familiar with Bournvita and so on. Okay. So you find that what we require in our countries of Africa is the knowledge and the systems that will enable us transform the raw materials we have in our countries into useful products. Okay? And whether you are talking of agric or you are talking of mineral resources, they are all there. It is just for us to put our acts together and do what the needful. And the only way we can do this is to invest in our research and development community. We have the brains, we have people who are gifted, we have talents. And these talents are incubated in our research institutes, in our universities. And all we need to do is to harness what these people are doing and then even encourage them more in a purposeful manner. Sometimes when we get all these things from Japan, from US, from UK, we think it happens by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. Each of these countries has what they call a science foundation. Okay? And what does it do? That science foundation gives money to institutions to do very serious research that ends up in products. And that's why, again, I'm happy. A few weeks ago, the President Ahmed Tinubu announced through the Minister of Science and Technology, announced the establishment of a National Research and Development Fund. This fund, the scientific community has been talking about this fund over the years, and I'm happy that the president has made the pronouncement. I believe I heard $500 million
Wow.
that will be put in this fund. And then this fund will now drive research and development. And if you look at the name, it's called National, in fact, in many of the developed countries, this is called National Research
And Development Fund. Okay.
NRIF, but the Nigerian one is called National Research and Development Fund. Okay. And I like it because it emphasizes development, research for development. And that's what that fund will be driving commercialization of research results.
I hope our viewers are listening to what Prof is talking about. This is really, really rich. And I can see a new Africa blooming ahead. Sir, I believe you have motivated a lot of young persons today out there, and I can feel them right from here. Majority of them, those young persons, will aspire to careers in science and technology, engineering and innovation. In a brief statement, sir, what do you have to tell them?
Sorry, can I get that again?
Yeah, from your discussion.
Yeah.
You must have motivated a lot of young persons out there that will aspire to careers in science, technology, engineering and innovation. In a brief statement, what do you have to tell them? Those people, those young persons aspiring to this.
Yes, I have quite a number of them. I must say that I'm glad that over the years I've actually mentored people. Some of them are actually professors like me. And what I want to tell them is that we have a lot of work ahead of us. I'm one of those who believe that the scientific community the science community or scientific community in Africa has failed the continent. And why do I say this? And I hear these people confront me with this, that with the large number of professors we have, engineers, scientists, we are not able to produce things, we are not able to solve problems. What I want to tell them is some of us are actually, there's one professional body I belong to where the average age is 70, and we always joke that many of us are the departure lounge. So the message I have for these young ones is that many of us are already approaching, already at the departure lounge, but they still have time ahead of them. And so the message I have for them is that they should work hard and always work on solutions to problems and challenges. Days are gone when people do research for research sake or research for publications. You find that at the end of the day, you have those publications, and if you don't have anything tangible that you have produced, you won't end up a happy person. So my advice to them is always target solutions to problems. And you find that once you're able to solve a problem, even if that problem is a Nigerian problem, you find that the solution will also apply to other countries. And at the end of the day, you may smile to the banks if you do the right thing in terms of protecting your intellectual property. So you will not only be helping the society, but you will also be making money for yourself.
Wow. All right. Prof, as the president of the African University of Science and Technology, this institution is about Africa, not only Nigeria. And in Africa, we have culture, we have different languages. The major ones are three major ones in Nigeria. Of course, let's take Hausa because this is Queen Amina TV. Then we have Twi, we have Swahili, French, and Portuguese. I am going to frame just a sentence, and I want you to say that sentence in all these languages.
That's a serious one.
Yes, sir. So the sentence is, I want to study science and technology. So now let's go. You have to say it in Hausa, Twi, Swahili, Portuguese, and French. Yes, so let's start with Hausa.
That is where I will fail. This is a professor failing exam. The only thing I know in Hausa is son.
Sir, I can come up with other things you know. You think you don't know them, but you know them. Can I say one? I know very well that you know Kudi.
Yes, of course, I know Kudi.
So I want to study science and technology in Hausa.
No.
So among the other languages, is there anywhere you can say this in?
Except my mother tongue.
Okay. All right. So I don't know. Africans should come and ask Prof. As the president of this institute, Prof should be able to speak this
Swahili and
yes, say something because
French.
He's about Africa here, not only Nigeria. But sir, let's have it in your mother tongue then. I want to study science and technology.
Achọrọ m ịmụta ife gbasara ọkpụ ụzụ.
Let me try it. Achọrọ m ịmụta Okay, viewers, thank you for listening. We have come to the end of this wonderful interview with Professor Azikiwe Peter Onwualu, FAS, the president of the African University of Science and Technology. It has been wonderful. And I believe nobody out there amongst our viewers would like to be left behind from this noble discussion. I know that in the next session, we are going to be receiving your children in this school. This university, don't forget, is located in Galadimawa, Abuja, and is open to everyone. You can send your child to come and be here in this learning hub so that you will see what the Prof has been saying throughout this interview. Thank you so much. We'll continue to discuss on this great platform, AUST on Queen Amina TV. Have a great one. It's your girl, Queen Amina Ilyasu. Goodbye.